everyone, and welcome. I am
Welcome.
Megan from Tink's Magical Vacations, and we have Mindy here with us as
Yep,
well.
we're your friendly
So,
cruise experts.
that's right. So exciting stuff today. As you are coming on, make sure that you say hi and let us know where you're from. We'd love to chat with you. And definitely, as we start to chat, if you have questions before we start to chat, place them in the, leave a comment. Let us know if you have questions as we chat. Please let us know what your questions are. We will be checking and we will definitely be answering questions tonight. I'm sure there are a lot of them out there. So, fall of 2024 and just a little bit of 2025, Disney Cruise Line itineraries were released, which is super exciting. Hello, Tracy from Seattle. Mindy, should we start with the elephant in the room, right?
Okay, so what is the elephant in the room? What happened to the treasure? What happened to the Disney treasure? We don't see any kind of itinerary for them.
Right.
We don't really know. It hasn't been released yet. We keep hearing that it will be released soon, but it's probably going to have its own release. And again, we'll be back here talking about it when they do
I
release it. But
know.
no, they didn't. They did not release the Disney Treasure, but they did release all the fall of 2024, and they're absolutely going back to Australia again, and that's why there's some bookings into February so they can complete the Australia season.
Right. So I'm just going to take a second to say hi to Tara from the
And hi,
North
Jen.
Pole. And
Jennifer's one of
Jen, yeah,
somebody I know from Nova
yay.
Scotia.
All right. So from all over, this is fantastic. So yeah, for those of you that maybe haven't been as entrenched in Disney Cruise Line information as Mindy and I have been. So the Treasure is the newest ship being built currently in the Disney Cruise Line fleet. And we were told that it would be finished and ready to sail in 2024. So we naturally anticipated that that ship would be on this release. We didn't see it and we haven't heard and we don't know anything about it, but we promise as soon as we do, like Mindy said, we will come back on here and answer all your questions as soon as we know that. So let's talk about what we do know, right? So lots of things were released. Obviously, Western, Eastern Caribbean sailings we still have. It looks like, in summary, it looks like those are from Galveston and Fort Lauderdale and Port Canaveral. They are all looking like they're on the Magic Dream and Fantasy. We also have the favorite Southern Caribbean that's sailing from San Juan.
Yeah, I think that was a big hit this year, so I think they redid it again for next year.
I do too. I think that a lot of people like the length of that sailing and the unique ports of call. All of those Caribbean sailings, they run 4 nights to, well, I guess the longest would be the Southern, which is the 9-night, right?
So Kristen's asking a question.
Oh, it's a 7-night.
Yeah, which ship is going to Lighthouse Point? We're gonna jump in and take questions as we see them because we're gonna talk about stuff, but we really want to talk about what you want to hear. The Magic is going to Lighthouse Point as it is in the summer of 2024. It's going to continue going to Lighthouse Point. I think any of the ones going out of Fort Lauderdale might be going to Lighthouse Point. I didn't check to see if the Fantasy might be stopping there too.
So the Bohemian, interestingly enough, Mindy, I noticed that the Bohemian sailings, most of them are stopping in Lighthouse Point, and 4 of the ships are actually sailing those, the Wish, Magic Dream, and Fantasy. So I don't know. It looks like the Magic might be doing most of them, but I do think that there's other ships going there. It looks like the Dream is going on some 3-night sailings. So it won't just be that one, but that surprised me. So we have a lot of Bohemian sailings that are not just one ship, which we've seen for the past many years, right? Whereas kind of just one ship was doing those. So it's kind
Yeah,
of nice
I
to
did
see
see the
that.
Magic was going there. I didn't check the other ships. I did notice that, like the summer of 2024, there are some sailings going up Castaway Key and Lighthouse Point. So
Yes,
if you
yeah, which
were,
should be fun.
yeah, which if you were worried that you missed the ones in the summer and you couldn't get on those, look into the ones in the fall because there are a few sailings that are doing what I call almost like the double dip, both islands.
Right, right, absolutely. It has a whole new name now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
Lori,
guess it's double.
hello from Hershey, and T. Adams from Texas. Wow, I think we've hit, I don't know, every West Coast. We're out there. Awesome, guys. And San Antonio, Texas. Hi, James. How are you? Um, so it does, yeah. And the Bohemian ones, they're from Port Canaveral, Fort Lauderdale, and San Juan. So not just again from Port Canaveral. And we see they're running 3 to 6 nights, so lots of options there to go to Lighthouse Point. Any word on the magic bands being extended to the other ships? Jennifer, that is a great question. Um, we have not heard. Right now, they are testing them on the Wish. I'm not sure their plans. I think that they may not be able to roll them out to all the ships until some of them go into dry dock. I don't know, Mindy, do you have any thoughts on that one?
I did not. I have not heard anything about the magic bands. I was just actually checking to see the answer to the Lighthouse Point thing because I have the schedule up on my phone. It's
Yeah.
so new
Yep.
that you can't learn everything in a couple hours. But it looks like the Magic, the Dream, and the Fantasy are all going to Lighthouse Point.
Oh, so they
So
all are going. Okay,
yeah,
great.
all three of them are going definitely.
Yeah, there's
So
a
you
lot. Most of those are stopping. Most of the Bohemian ones are stopping at Lighthouse Point for the most part.
So you can go to, I mean, you can go at any ship you want. But as far as the Magic Bands go, I have it, in this announcement, they didn't really talk about the Magic Bands. I know that they're still kind of rolling them out on the Wish. In fact, this past weekend, our agency got a chance to demo them and try them. If you look in our Instagram stories, you can see that there was a whole. She showed what some of the things it could do, and they're really neat. I mean, I personally don't like the extra band because I'm already wearing my iWatch, but the kids will love them.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely seems to be some pros and cons. So they might fine tune them before they roll them out to every ship. And I would guess that the treasure will be utilizing them, but who knows? We'll see. Um, so I think I mean, this is the biggest release with the longest sailings we've seen, maybe. I don't know. We've got Hawaii, 9 and 10 nights, and 15 nights South Pacific, and that westbound transatlantic. It looks like that's pretty.
So Megan, some of the interesting things I noticed about those this year over last year is
Yeah,
this year they're the ones that are going from Australia to Honolulu and Honolulu to Australia. They're actually
yeah.
people said last year, why aren't they stopping at the islands in between? This year they are. They're stopping at a they're stopping at wait, I don't remember the names of the islands. I'm going to look for you though.
I've got them.
Um,
I've got them right here. Actually, I can pull them up.
they're stopping
So,
at in American Samoa and Fiji.
yeah,
I mean,
right, which
that's
is amazing, right?
and another amazing thing is the number of sea days. If you're like those people that I met on the transatlantic that love having sea days, we had 8 sea days on the transatlantic, and I thought that was the most ever. Some of these have 9 and 10 sea days.
Yeah,
I
that 15
mean,
night South Pacific, 10 sea days, 10
I
days at
mean,
sea. I mean, it looks so pretty amazing.
yeah, and
Hawaii,
take
Pago Pago, Fiji, New Caledonia, Sydney. I mean, that's a pretty massive
yeah, and take
sailing,
it
but
from
it'd be
me that
awesome.
I just got off a ship in May that I was on for 8 sea days, and I didn't know how it was going to be. And
Right.
it's amazing because there's a lot to do. And, you actually get into a little routine on your days because there are certain things that happen every day. And if you like doing them, like for example, on the Dream, they had a morning show that the cruise director and the assistant cruise director were hosts of, and they taped them so you could watch them in your room. And they told you all the stuff that was going on the ship and stuff like that. And they had some comedy bits and all that kind of stuff. And we went to it every day after we saw it the first time because it was fun. It was a
Yeah,
nice thing to do. It's something you don't do on other cruises. And
right.
so definitely look into that. If that's a cruise you want to take, this sounds like an amazing cruise.
Well, anything that goes to the South Pacific can't be too bad, in my opinion. I think that um, it is a very long cruise. It is obviously a big commitment. It is during school time, which does make it challenging, obviously, for those that have little ones. But it is a fantastic opportunity to get to Hawaii, the westbound transatlantic. Again, you just got off of this. You did these stops, right? Lisbon. Did you do the Azores as well,
Yes, we
Mindy?
did. We
Yeah.
did.
And this one actually does stop at Lighthouse Point. So if you just have to get it in, you have no other
So
way of doing it,
so
you
that's
could do it.
that's a good transition, Megan. It
Yeah.
stops. So this Western Transatlantic stops at Lighthouse Point, which transatlantics don't normally do that because why? They normally go to New York. This
Right.
year, Disney Cruise Line is not bringing the Dream to New York. It's totally bypassing it. It's going back to Fort Lauderdale. There are no New
Yeah.
York sailings right now, unless it's somebody brought it up and put this thought in my ear, and I don't know if it's true. Is it possible that the Treasure might do some New York sailings? Who knows? Right now,
That
there are
would
no New
be
York
really
sailings in the fall of
interesting.
2024.
Right. Which does bring us to sort of the bummers of the release, I guess you could say, right? There are no Bermuda sailings at all this fall, that in the fall of 2024, which I know I've heard from, a couple of my clients that had hoped to sail to Bermuda. And look, me being in the Boston area, I love those New York sailings. So it was a surprise. We don't know what's going to happen. I'd hope that, I mean, it'd be awesome. Yes, Catherine, it would be awesome that the Treasure would be going to New York City, right? But we'll just have to wait and see and find out what the story is with that. There's not even a Bermuda sailing from Port Canaveral, which
Nope.
is unusual, but for some reason they pulled those. Now I don't know if they just overextended all the ships and they're we've got Fort Lauderdale opening up, the Australian stuff going on, but we'll have to just wait and see.
But but they're going to be in Australia from November of 2024 through February. Um, yeah, Tara, we did notice there's no Panama Canal
No
either.
Panama. I that was our next. That was the
Well,
next.
yeah, and think about it. They basically keep the Wonder on the West Coast. The Magic is on the East Coast. There's no ship they need to bring back and forth. So therein takes away the ability to have the Panama Canal. I'm not. I
It
think
is a bummer. I know, Tara.
Yeah, I think they were bringing they had them they had the last Panama Canal that you can book because they brought the Magic in to the West Coast, I believe, to cover for the Wish while it was in, not the Wish, the Wonder Wish W. They both start with W. Uh, to cover for
The
the
other
Wonder while it
W.
was in Australia, but and then they have to bring it back. But yeah, once they bring it back, I don't know. I mean, with the new ship supposedly coming, everything's kind of a little up in the air.
Well,
We
it's
don't
like
know
a
what their
giant
itinerary is going
puzzle,
to be.
right? It used to be much clearer, right, with four ships. It was so much clearer how everything sort of fit together. You add in a
Yeah,
fifth ship, suddenly it's very hard to piece together. And now we've got a sixth ship, so it's kind of even harder
yeah,
to figure
Karen.
it all
We don't see any San Diego's to Mexico because the Wonder is going to Australia. So it
right.
doesn't look like they're bringing the Magic over to cover like they're doing in 2023. So again, who knows? There's got to be somebody making decisions. Why no more? Why no San Diego? Why no New York? Um,
Right. It is
I have
unusual,
no
Karen.
idea.
It did.
I mean, these are
Yep.
things we noticed that again, we just saw all these itineraries this morning, so
For
we've
those
kind of
of you
spent
that
the
can't
time.
see Karen's, yeah, her question was, have they cut out all San Diego to Mexico cruises? At least for this release, we do not see anything out of San Diego at all. So kind of a bummer there. So when can these be booked? Because they can't be booked yet. That's important, right?
So this will be our first round of having all the new levels and booking based on your new levels. This is going to be the first time. So us poor platinums, Megan, we can't book on the first day anymore.
I know, I know. We've been demoted, Mindy.
We've
I
been
know.
demoted. So basically on Monday, a Monday on June 19th,
June 19th. Yep.
you will be able, the pearls are going to be able to book. Then on Tuesday, us demoted platinums get to book. Wednesday, you'll see the golds, and I think golden, it opens for Golden Oaks on Wednesday as well.
Actually, Golden
Was
Oak
it?
opens on Tuesday, the 20th.
Okay.
It kind of that
With the,
shifted around, and I don't know why. Same with DVC members. But Golden Oak can book on Tuesday with the platinum members.
okay. And then on Thursday, you'll see the silvers booking. And anybody who's never sailed Disney Cruise Line cannot book until the 26th of June.
Which is Monday. And
So,
just as a side note, that silver Thursday, June 22nd, this DVC members and Adventure Insiders can book as well, including the silver members on DCL. Yeah, so if you've never sailed with Disney Cruise Line before and don't know what the heck we're talking about, what is a Castaway Club member? It has to do with the number of sailings that you've taken. So as a new sailor, you do have to wait until Monday, June 26th. However, by working with a travel agent, we can help you start to see some pricing earlier
right.
than that. If some of us at Tinks are platinum travel agents, some of us are Pearl,
Some
and
of
we
us are
can
cool.
start seeing pricing based on the day that we're allowed to book. Now, as a side note, the pricing can and definitely sometimes has changed between the time that we can see it as a platinum member and the time that it can be booked by other Castaway Club levels. But it should give you an idea of if it's something you're interested in, if it's not. Mindy, how do you work with your clients when they're looking for
Well,
these
I do that
itineraries?
too. I basically, we know that I'm an accountant and I make spreadsheets, right? So I will have my clients that I want to book in a spreadsheet ahead of time. And I will, on the day it opens to me, I will go in and kind of price out all their cruises as the price it is that day. And I let them know, I said, Disney's the cruise line that as the ship fills, the prices change. So
Right,
sometimes you're really lucky and you book a sailing that's not as popular as some of the other ones, and your price may not change from the time I give it to you. But it could change. And I'm not talking that it will change thousands and thousands of dollars. It will probably change
right,
maybe a couple $100, but it can change from the time that I give them prices. And I let them know that. But that way it gives them the ability to try to figure out, okay, now I know the prices. This is what I could really afford to do, and this is
right,
what I want to do. So when their booking time comes, they're ready to book something, as opposed to, well, get me all these prices and I'll decide on Thursday. And by the time you give them all the prices, and then they wait till the following Monday, and how many other things have been booked by then, and maybe the price might go
right,
up again. So it's
right.
all about getting it in as soon as possible.
Well, and these new anybody that's new to booking, don't feel like you're not going to get the lowest prices. So I will tell you that the best time to book, and Mindy will tell you this too, the best time to book is when itineraries are first released.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only are they only going to go up from the day that Pearl members can book, they're only going to go up from the day that the general public can book as well, as those ships are fill up and become more popular. So it's really important. So don't feel like you're missing out. It may go up a little bit, like Mindy said, it's not going to go up thousands of dollars. hopefully. but but it's definitely a great time to book. And in addition, you can have your travel agent place something on hold when they first release and then think about it. So, next week gives us, or the rest of this week, I should say. Today's only, what is it, Tuesday? So
Yes, it's only Tuesday.
right, it's only Tuesday. So we have the rest of this week to sort of look and decide and collect information and get with your travel agent, hopefully at Tinks, and to let them know what you are looking for. And then next week, get some more information so that when your booking window opens, then your agent will be ready to place that on hold for you.
And so another thing people have is if you have placeholders, and let me tell you what a placeholder is. Placeholder is a booking you make on a sailing that you're actually on. They allow you to place a $250 hold on a reservation that's not really attached to a date. And with that, you can book, when you get home, you have 2 years from the date you book it to sail, and you will get 10% off booking another cruise. Now, bear with your travel agent if you use a placeholder, because the travel agent will have to call in to book that cruise for you. So as the reason you use a travel agent is because we're the ones that are going to sit on hold for you. So the queues when during release dates are hours and hours long, and we do that for you. So bear with us, number one. But that you can use placeholders on a release. So if you have a placeholder, let your travel agent know that, but also make sure before you get your heart set on a cruise that you ask what the blackout dates are. Certain cruises are blacked out from using placeholders, and they're usually the more popular dates, Christmas, Easter, anything that Disney Cruise Line knows that they're going to fill at regular price. They're not going to let you use placeholders on. So be sure to check that so you're not disappointed. You don't have your heart set on a cruise and you want to use your placeholder and you can't. But know that you can use them.
Yep. So we do have a question, T. Adams. How many days do I have to think about it if my TA puts it on hold? That's a great question. These are 3-day holds. So you've got 3 days before you have to make the deposit. So unless it is concierge.
A concierge room.
A concierge room. And then it would be a 24-hour hold. But you have time to sort of mull it over. It's well worth spending the time up front to work with your travel agent to go ahead and get that information and decide the cruise that you're interested in mostly, and give them some parameters so that they are equipped to be able to place that on hold for you, and then you can say yay or nay.
And a lot of times if you give us enough information to hold the cruise, we'll probably 9 out of 10 times hold it for you if it's a new reservation and not a placeholder, because if you decide you don't want it, we could just either call up we could just go online and cancel it, or we can just let it cancel after 3 days. So a lot of times we'll do that for our clients only because that makes sure you get the room you want if it's a more popular cruise and that kind of stuff. And another trick is that if you pick one of the more popular cruises, let's say the ones that there's only one of, the 15-night to Hawaii, or I don't know if it's back or which way, and you get a room on that, it may look like it's sold out, say on the first day or on the second day, but everybody puts holds on rooms and not everybody deposits those holds. So we always say, don't get disappointed. If you have a seasoned travel agent, they know in 3 days to go look again when the holds fall off.
That's right.
Because not everybody will go back and cancel them if their client decides not to go on. So it'll just disappear in 3 days. I try to cancel them if somebody tells me no, just because I know there's other people waiting for them.
Right. Well, and so those silver members, they're booking on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So by Monday, everything that wasn't deposited that week will be open to
Right.
new to the general public, which is this is a first for us. Typically, everything is right in a row, and we don't have that breathing room. So that should prevent, or that should open things up for general public at that point. But even going from pearl to platinum, I think we may see some of that, especially if you're looking for a particular room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people like those corner rooms for the verandas or whatever. But so we, like Mindy said, your travel agent should definitely advise you that things will open up in 3 days. The other great thing, unless you're concierge, the deposit is refundable up until your final payment. So if you are just on the fence and you just don't know and life is crazy right now, sometimes it will still, you know, be worth the time to put the deposit down and then sort of take a couple weeks to decide, because even in a few weeks, depending on how many people jump on that cruise, we could see an uptick in price for sure.
It's happened. It's happened time and time
It's
again.
happened.
I can't tell you how many people during the week of a release, you know, get prices from me and then don't come back to me till a couple weeks later, and the price has gone up and they're like mad, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's what happens. I wanted to
Yeah.
hold something
Yeah.
for you, but you didn't want it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
always,
I think it's hard, right,
yeah.
to not know what to do, but you have to, you know, trust us and know that we've got your best interest in mind. That refundable deposit makes it very user friendly for you. So definitely, you know, discuss all the pros and cons with your travel agent.
But remember that refundable deposit is not on a concierge room. So
That's right.
um, if you want concierge, you better be pretty sure you're going to stay with that, because it is not refundable. So if at that point when you deposit that, you should buy your insurance just in case something comes up. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not refundable. I myself was in that situation when my daughter got into that school and couldn't come with us on our September cruise. So
Right.
I was able to replace her with somebody, but it was it's a lot of money. You don't want to lose it. You
Right.
can transfer it
No.
to another cruise, but the money is still sitting out with DCL. It will not come back to you.
Correct. 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 So that would be, you know, again, good information to go over with your travel agent before all of these are released, so that you feel ready and your travel agent feels equipped to help you. So I think that covers it.
Any
Yeah.
more questions out there? Because we can answer anything you have. I'm sure you have to be questioning something on these itineraries.
We covered it all, Mindy. I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, I personally am getting ready to have both my kids in college in 2024. So potentially I might be able to get in some of these longer sailings. So I'm super excited to take a
Wait,
closer look on a personal level.
I thought that too. It didn't quite work out
Oh,
that way.
doesn't quite work out. Well, we'll see. Hawaii has been on
Depends
my
on
bucket list,
how
our
well you can
bucket
deal with
list for a
guilt.
long time. Yeah, well, I'm pretty good at that. We'll see. Of course, if my daughter's watching, she may say, "No way, Jose." Well, thanks so much, Mindy, for chatting with me. I'm super glad that we were able to answer some questions tonight. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to either Mindy or I. You can reach us at our email addresses here. We're happy to answer your questions. We're happy to get you information on cruises that are coming out. We're happy to get you quotes when they get released to us, which is Platinum Day. So we
Yeah,
both
right.
are platinum, so we can help you out there. We also are happy, any of the Tinks agents are happy to help you as well. So we hope you guys have a great night and that you get the sailing you're hoping for. Good night.
Good night, guys.